Foxian healer and counselor from the Jiaoqiu Yaoqing is finally here for everyone to pull after participating on the last quest we had on the game. Jiaoqiu is focused on being a debuffer for your teams thanks to his damage amplification buffs. In this video, I will talk about everything you need to know about Jiaoqiu, so just before the video starts, don't forget to leave your like and your sub. 98% of you are not subscribed, and it's completely free. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitch. I stream a lot of times there, and you can win blessings for the game of your choosing by watching and participating on them. If you wish to buy more Stellar Jades on Honkai Star Rail for a cheap price with secure transactions, U7 Buy will have your back. And if you wish to play games that your PC can handle, Boosteroid might help with that. All those links, as well as my socials, will be on the description, and for those who want to support me even more, you can always end up becoming a member. Without any furthers, let's now explain Jiaoqiu kit. Jiaoqiu is a 5-star fire character that follows the path of Nihility and is focused on being a debuffer for your teams thanks to his damage amplification buffs. On his basic attack, Hurt the Fire, Jiaoqiu deals fire damage equal to a percentage of his attack to a single target enemy. When he uses his skill, Scorch Onslaught, Jiaoqiu deals fire damage equal to a percentage of his attack to a single target enemy and a smaller percentage of his attack to adjacent targets, with a 100% base chance to inflict one stack of Ashen Rust on the primary target. On his ultimate, Pyrograph Arcanum, Jiaoqiu sets the number of Ashen Roast stacks on the enemy targets to the highest number of Ashen Roast stacks present on the battlefield. Then, activates a zone and deals fire damage equal to a percentage of his attack to walled enemies. While inside the zone, enemy targets receive a percentage of increased ultimate damage, with a percentage-based chance of being inflicted with one stack of Ashen Roast when taking action. While the zone exists, this effect can trigger up to 6 times, and for each enemy target, it can only trigger once per turn. This trigger count resets every time Jiaoqiu uses his ultimate, and the zone will last for 3 turns, and its duration decreases by 1 at the start of Jiaoqiu every turn. But if he gets knocked down, the zone will also be dispelled. On his talent, Ported Finesse, Octave Finery, when Jiaoqiu hits an enemy with a basic attack, skill or ultimate, there is a 100% base chance to inflict one stack of Ashen Roast on them. At 1 stack, increases damage received by the enemy by a percentage. Then, each subsequent stack increases this by a smaller percentage. Ashen Roast is capped at 5 stacks and will last for 2 turns. Also, when an enemy target is inflicted with Ashen Roast, they are also considered as being burned at the same time, taking fire damage equal to a percentage of his attack at the start of each turn. And for last, on his technique, Fury Queller, after using the technique, creates a special dimension that lasts for 15 seconds. After entering combat with enemies with this special dimension, deals fire damage equal to 100% of Jiaoqiu's attack to all enemies, with a 100% base chance of applying one Ashen Rost stack. Only one dimension created by allies can exist at the same time. Now that we know how Jiaoqiu works, it's now time to talk about his traces and priorities to level up. On his minor traces, Jiaoqiu will get a total of 28% effect hit rate, 14.4 fire damage and 5 speed, helping you a lot improving his stats. On his first major trace, Fire Cleanse, when battle starts, immediately regenerates 15 energy. On his second major trace, Hurt Kindle, for every 15% of Jiaoqiu's effect hit rate that exceeds 80%, additionally increases his attack by 60%, up to 240%, which means he will need a total of 140% effect hit rate to maximize his passive. And for last, on his third major trace, Seared Scent, while the ultimate zone exists, enemies entering combat will be inflicted with Ashen Roast. The number of stacks applied will match the highest number of Ashen Roast stacks possessed by any unit while the zone is active, with a minimum of 1 stack. For his trace priorities, you should focus on your talent first, since all of his kit works around that, then his ultimate for the increased chance of getting stacks when enemy play, then his skill, and for last his basic attack. Now let's talk about Jiaoqiu Eidolons for those who are simping for him to the point that they will go away after him. With Easy 1, allies deal 40% increased damage to enemy targets inflicted with Ashen Roast. Whenever inflicting Ashen Roast on the enemy target via triggering the talent's effect, additionally increases the number of Ashen Roast stacks applied this time by 1. On Easy 2, when an enemy target is afflicted with Ashen Roast, increases the multiplier for the fire DOT dealt by Ashen Roast to the target by 300%. Easy 3, increases the level of his skill by 2 and the level of his basic attack by 1. With Easy 4, when the zone exists, reduces enemy target's attack by 15%. Easy 5 increases the level of his ultimate and talent by 2, and with Easy 6, when an enemy target gets defeated, their accumulated Ashen Rust stacks will transfer to the enemy with the lowest number of Ashen Rust stacks on the battlefield. The maximum stack limit of Ashen Rust increases to 9, and each Ashen Rust stack reduces the target's all-type res by 3%. Now let's talk about the best relics and planetary ornament sets you could use in your Jiaoqiu. His best insult option will be, in my opinion, a combination of 2-piece Pioneer and 2-piece Hacker Space. Since there isn't a single set providing effect hit rate for now, and thanks to his major traits providing a lot of attack, having sets that increase your damage percentage is not that bad. This, mixed with the speed you get from Hacker Space, will lead to more turns, which will mean more ultimates. If you find yourself with a good balance on crits beside all his mandatory stats, going for a 4-piece Pioneer is not actually a bad option since Jiaoqiu actually can deal some damage, making full use of the damage increase from his 2-piece and crits from the 4-piece. If you plan on using him mostly for a DOT team comp, going for a 4-piece Prisoner in Deep Confinement will be your best pick, because you will get a 12% attack increase on its 2-piece, and with its 4-piece, your DOT damage will ignore between 6% and 18% defense based on the amount of DOTs your enemy has. And for last, you can always mix and match 2 pieces between the sets that provide damage increase to debuffed enemies, attack, and speed. For planetary ornaments, his best insult will be Pan Cosmic because of his effect hit rate requirements. And since this set provides 10% effect hit rate, while also increasing your attack by 25% of your effect hit rate with a maximum of 25% increase, this would be his best set. And if you want to maximize its passive, you would just need 100% effect hit rate, something that your Jiaoqiu should have anyways. Von Walk can be a good alternative, especially if you wish to have a faster ultimates, thanks to the energy increase and the action advance if you reach 120 speed or higher. Now that we know what set to farm, let's now talk about the best stats we need to be looking for. For the chest, effect hit rate will always be your best choice. For the boots, speed. For the sphere, fire damage. And for the rope, attack percent. For the subsets, you should focus on effect hit rate, speed, crits, and attack. For Jiaoqiu Lightcones, his best insult will be his signature, Those Many Springs, which will increase your effect hit rate by 60% and increase the damage your target receives by 10% up to 2 stacks after using a basic, skill, or ultimate, with a 60% chance to upgrade that to a 14% increased damage taken for 2 turns if your enemy target is under a DOT inflicted by the wearer. His best 4-star option will be Good Night and Sleep Well, which will be providing a 12% increase for every debuff on the enemy target up to 3 times, and also applying to DOT. If you wish to play Jiaoqiu more in a support role, Resolution Shines will be a good option since it has a 60% chance of applying a defense reduction debuff on the enemy for 1 turn when you attack him. Other 4-star options like Before the Tutorial Mission Starts and Eyes of the Prey can be used on him, but they are more niche, since one will need a defense shredder on your team and the other will be more focused towards a DOT team. And for last, his best F2P Lightcone will be the MOC shop It's Showtime, which will increase your damage by 6% for 1 turn up to 3 stacks every time you inflict a debuff on the enemy, and will also increase your attack by 20% if your effect hit rate will be higher or equal than 80%, something Jiaoqiu will want anyways. For Jiaoqiu teams, he will be a great pair for Acheron since it allows her to have a chance of getting stacks when enemies take action, but he will be an universal debuffer and with some room to be played on DOT teams. So here are some team options. For an Acheron team, pair him with Acheron, Sparkle or Pella, and Aventurine or Gallagher. For a DOT team, pair him with Kafka, Black Swan or Wan Mei, and Hua Hua. For a Yunli team, pair him with Yunli, Ingyun or Robin, and Hua Hua or Lynx. For a Dr. Ratio team, pair him with Dr. Ratio, Robin, and Aventurine. Just don't forget you don't need to do these exact teams. You always have other characters that have similar functions with the ones I talked about. And if you have some teams that didn't appear here and want to share them, leave your favorite teams down on the comments for all of us to give it a look. So what's your opinion about Jiaoqiu? Is he a valuable pull for your account? What do you think about him? I hope with this video you are now able to understand how he works and how you should build him. Share this with everyone you know that got him or is thinking about getting him. 98% of you are not subscribed, so please, what are you waiting for to join this community? Also, I stream a lot on my Twitch and you are able to win some blessings there, so make sure to give it a look. A special thanks to my members for trying to support me, and thank you so much for keeping me company. Have an amazing day everyone, and good luck on your pulls.